Alright, today I want to practice drawing simple poses. Now, I myself am not very good with poses. But you know, you gotta kind of start somewhere. Alright, now first I want to start with the head. Now, I know a lot of people don't start with the head. I think they start with the feet or the body. But as one person told me, that the head is what centers the body, and so that's why I start with the head first. I guess it's easier for me, and I've always done expressions first. So I don't know. It kind of makes it easier for me to start with the head. Now I'm gonna go against what I usually do, but usually I kind of make the expressions. I make the expressions in the body first. Or I make the expressions and the details of the face first before I make the rest of the body, but I'm going to not do that because I know that is also frowned upon. So for the head, you just want to get a basic, well, I guess it really depends on your character. Sometimes you want it oval, sometimes you want it square. For this character here, we're going to have them look a bit to the right, and this line here shows that their face is like tilted downwards instead of looking up. And usually I give this to maybe villainous characters or characters with like a little sly tension, or I don't know. And then so from the line that goes down the face here, you want to start the neck right there, just a little curved line here. And then a little bit under where the ear would be right here, you want the neck. And then, so that's that. And then you want to kind of make a line here for the shoulders. I guess it helps a lot of people out if they kind of make a stick figure first. And so the middle of the chest is going to be right here. And then the legs are probably going to start like right here. You don't have to do that. That's just to help give you more of a visual. Now, I like to do the chest first because I feel like it kind of makes no point to do the arms next. Now, for the chest, I like to make a little itty bitty circle here so you know what it is. Now, if you're making a girl, you kind of want a bigger oval, which is kind of what I did here. Actually, it's more of a rectangle. It's kind of like circled off. I don't know. Call it what you want. You make this little thing here. And then if you want a girl, you got to kind of make the waist skinnier. And that kind of identifies where the breasts are. And then I make this here, which defines that this is where the waist goes. Now, I don't really know what kind of character we're drawing here, whether it's male or female. You just kind of do you. If you want a female, keep it that skinny. If you want a male, that's where the chest is. You just want the line to go through. Not that men aren't as skinny as women. It's just that I make my women have more of a figure than I give my men. Not saying that men don't have this figure, but you know, my characters aren't very detailed, and if I can separate them just by their body shape, you know, that's cool with me. Okay. So, because I drew this line here, I know where the center of the chest is, and then I want to say about right here is where the belly button is. This is the pants line. And then we're going to keep this line going down, and that's the line that's going to separate the pants. Now, or the legs. I don't know if your figure is nude. That's on you guys to decide. Anyways, to help me, because really with the legs are so much simpler to do, and I like to do that before I start the arms. So the legs are going to have circles here. This circle is for the hip joint. Now, the kind of pose that I want him to have one leg straight. This is where his knee would be, joint for his knee, and then this is where his ankle's going to be. I want him to have one leg straight, and then one leg kind of popping out a bit. Oops. This is where the knee would be. This is where the ankle would be. Now for now, just keep and just straight lines. We'll get into the shape of it later. So you got one leg, and this leg is going to be in the front, so we can go ahead and make this darker line here to indicate that that leg's forward and then this leg's behind. Next, we're going to do the arms. So because he's a guy, I like the shoulders to be a little broader. This is the joint in his shoulder, and then because he's facing at an angle, his shoulder is going to be behind his arm there. So then we go down here. This might take me a few tries because, like I said, I'm not the best at poses. So there's his forearm, and that would be where his wrist is. Next, we're going to do his other arm. One going down here, there's the joint, and then going across there to make it look like his arms are kind of folded. Now, the biggest issue with is keeping it consistent and making the body proportions match. That's one of my biggest issues with doing poses, and that's kind of why I don't do them as much. I just like to do little expressions and things. So here's his arm, here's his elbow, here's his hand, well, his other hand. Now what I did here is I made this arm go too low. We want it in that direction to kind of match the direction that this arm is going. Almost in a triangle. We want this to be the base of the triangle. Here, let me get a colored pencil though. Okay. We want this to be the base of the triangle and the middle of the arm to reach the same spots. This is where the arms kind of intersect, and it should kind of look like that. And we're kind of at an angle, so it's okay if this angle, this part here is a bit longer than this one. Okay. So now I gotta kind of go back and align my arms right. Oh yeah, I forgot that colored pencils don't erase very well. I don't know. Hopefully that's alright. Now we can kind of focus and darken the lines. First let's finish the leg. So for the leg, here's his hip, so it kind of goes out. You kind of want to follow the circle you made here. Go in a little bit, and then out around the knee. Don't make it too much, or else his leg's going to kind of look deformed. Mine probably looks deformed. And I kind of make my characters always wear bell bottoms. Make this line here thin, because that's where his shoe is going to be. Okay? And then at the base of this oval you made here is the bottom of his shoe. Then you just want his shoe to be a half circle, really. It's not that complicated. And then darken the lines. So there's one leg of the pants. Now here, this one's pretty straightforward, no pun intended. Just follow the straight line you did. And then the trick with this one is, because his leg's at an angle, so is going to be the opening of his pants here. So kind of want it like that. And then just connect it to the other straight line. And then this is going to be the side of a shoe. Then of course here's the bottom. And then here's the top bit. Now, I don't really make certain shapes to my shoes. If it's supposed to be a business outfit, then his shoe's probably going to end up right there. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. If you want to go back for details, you know, that's cool. I'm Yeah. I'm just looking at making a sketch here. I'm going to give him a belt, though, as far as details go. So there's his little belt buckle. It's going to be along the line of the waist that we did earlier, just right in the center. And then his belt, right there. Next, we're going to do the arms. I kind of made a mess with that, so I apologize. So one of his hands is right here. Let's see, how am I going to do this? Okay. How did I do this? Okay, let's make his forearm here. Because it's kind of at an angle, it's supposed to connect that way. It's okay if it doesn't follow its normal shape. Usually a forearm shape, here's the hand, and then you kind of whoop. I don't know, kind of think of it as a drumstick. That's supposed to be the forearm. Forearm right there. And then the hand, thumb, fingers, fingers, fingers. I don't know. So, it doesn't really matter that this doesn't really follow the shape of the forearm. So once we got that part of the forearm done, let's just hurry up and do the bicep here. It's just a straight line. Let's give him short sleeves. So starting from the tip of the neck and the shoulder is where you're going to start. And you're just going to kind of follow the circle around and around the arm a little bit. And then kind of make a square. And then go up. You don't need to finish it or connect it. And then draw the rest of the bicep there. Followed by the other side of the arm to the elbow. And then to where the other arm and the forearm meet. So it's kind of like that. Now that we have this forearm done here, this first forearm that we did, we can hurry up and make his hand, which is just going to be like a little half circle popping up there. Then we can finish by making the hand pop up here, another itty bitty little circle thing. And the rest kind of closing off. We can follow this shoulder to make the sleeve. Then the other arm going this way. Now if you made the shoulder, I don't know if you saw me, but I didn't make it go past the chest here, which is fine because the arm is kind of, I don't know how to explain it, behind the chest. So now it's easy, just... So here's the neck. You kind of want 1 centimeter apart from where you start the chest up, and then make the chest kind of disappear behind the hand. And then a shirt's kind of tucked in, so just connect it to the belt line. And if you want, now's the time that you can erase all your lines. You don't have to. It just helps keep things neat and maybe help you figure out where everything is. Now you can make the collar. I just have him wearing a regular t-shirt, so it's rounded. If you want him to have a v-neck, just make like a little triangle. Make a little triangle. If you want him to wear a collar, that's a bit of a different step. You kind of got to make one line go in here, and then follow the line around his neck. And then same thing for this side. Bloop, bloop. And then there's his head. He's a happy person. Happy person with a collar. Where did I put my eraser at? I don't know. We'll just leave the happy person with the collar there. Okay, now we can make the face. Now I want to kind of have like an eyebrow raised. And when he has an eyebrow raised, at least with my style, his eyes are going to be 2 different shapes. This eye here is going to be... My eyes, I kind of make them square. Because I got 4 points here, 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 and here. These 2 lines are going to be made on the line you made when we first made the face. And it helps you direct where it's going. When you finish the eye, you want the two bases and then the line to go a little bit away. This space here is where none of these move. This one doesn't move, this one doesn't move, this one doesn't move. This one here is the only one that usually moves, and that's the one that decides whether your face is angry or happy or sad. I put my expressions with the eyes. So if you want an angry face, the eye is going to look like this. Here are the 4 points. This one, instead of being up here, it's going to move down here. And there you have an angry face. If you want a sad face, you want both the eyes to have this kind of shape with the line going upwards a little bit. But since he's kind of got one eyebrow raised, this eye here is going to be rounded. This dot just moved a little bit lower. So once you got the eye shape fixed, then you just figure out where you want the pupils to be. Followed by his eyebrows. You want the eyebrows to kind of follow the shape of the eye. See, this eye went upwards a little bit, so the eyebrow is going to too. And this one was rounded at the top, so this eyebrow is going to be round too. Then here's his little nose. Some people do like the whole nose shape where you got bloop. Oh, that was a really poor nose. Or just bloop. I just like to make a little line. That's to indicate it's just the average size nose. Whenever I make pointier noses, that's when I go like that, or I go like that. I don't know, it just really depends on the person you're trying to draw. I don't really know who I'm drawing, I'm just drawing somebody. And so then that's where I like to start with the face, followed by the ear. Now the ear is what helps us find the where the hair goes, at least for me. So there's my ear. I'm not very good at drawing ears, and I prefer not to get into it. I want this person to have a more pointier face. You can give your character a variety of different face shapes, like round ones, which are pretty simple. You just got to, from the point where the eye meets, you just got to round it out all the way around. And there you got your round face. For a pointier face, you kind of gotta make you gotta make a straight line from the last point of the eye, and then kind of round it out to the chin. Now the chin should end the same point as the neck, and then the ear, from the tip of the ear, you want to bring it down and connect it to the point of the chin. Or yeah. So that's the only way that identifies a pointier face for me between, or a rounded face, is this little line here. Next we can do his hair. Now, I haven't had much of an opportunity to practice drawing guys much since most of my original characters are girls. And so the style that I use for guys is really simple. You just start at between the neck and where you do the head is where you want the hair to pretty much start. And it doesn't have to follow a specific shape. Just make sure that you gotta follow along with the head here. Once you get too far past the head is where you make the little line here for the hair. And you want to make the point go back to the head, and then round, point, round, point. And of course, if that's not how you want it to look, you can just fiddle with it. Everybody's got a different way of making hair. I frankly don't like how this one looks. Oh yes, I don't like how this one looks, so I'm going to adjust it. But when you want the hair on the face a bit. You don't want it I don't really know. you kind of want the hair in the face a little bit, or else it's going to look like he's bald with the weird halo going around his head. So it's okay when the hair goes inside the face. Now, to figure out where it needs to go, I like to make the hair go by the ears for little sideburns on his head. So then just follow that line around. Make it as low as you want it to go. If you want him having hair covering his eyes, that's fine. Just make this a little smaller and then follow those lines. If you want it above, just do that. Ooh, I don't like that either. Or just fiddle around with it. Develop your own kind of look. If there's anything that I learned is that everyone has their own style. You can try to copy someone's, but you're never going to have theirs. And you know what? That's what makes art so special. So once you have the kind of hair that you like, and your face is pretty much made, that's when you can make the mouth. I don't go so far as to making lips. If I want the mouth open, then I'll make some teeth. There are various ways to make different mouth shapes and things. But you know, ours is really simple. And so here we have our little guy. I don't know if that helped you, helped anyone, but you know, I sure hope it did. I actually want to give him a little hair, facial hair. Now, I haven't looked into this very much because I don't do it for a lot of my characters, but just make itty bitty little lines. Itty bitty little lines. There you go. I kind of want to name him Patrick. That's a simple pose.